Hi guys, my name is Chris. Today we're going to take a look into how we can dual boot Windows and Linux. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so let's jump right into it. You need to first download Linux if you haven't already done so. If you check my other video, how to download and install Linux, you'll see how to download it. To make it easy for you guys, I'll just quickly jump the clip into this video right now. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and open up my web browser. And I'm going to do a search for Linux Mint. I'm going to go ahead and click on the first link here. It says Linux Mint main page, which is linuxmint.com. Once we get to this page, we want to go ahead and click on the download button. It'll tell you what version we are downloading. We are downloading Linux Mint 17.3 Rosa. So I'm going to scroll down and you can see there is different versions of Linux Mint. If you remember guys, we talked about desktop environments in our last blog. So they've got them here. So we got the Cinnamon desktop. So let's take a look. So we got Cinnamon no codecs. Cinnamon OEM, Mate no codecs, Mate OEM, KDE and XFCE. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go and download the Linux Mint Mate desktop. So we've got two options here. We can have no codecs or with the codecs. In other words, we can play music and videos and whatever else. So I'm going to go ahead and download the one with multimedia support, and I'm going to choose the 64-bit edition. The reason I'm choosing the 64-bit edition is because I've got more than 4 GB of RAM in my computer, and my processor supports 64-bit. Most modern systems will I would recommend going 64-bit, but check what RAM you've got and check to see if your processor is supports 64-bit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on 64-bit. It will now take you to this page. We want to click this link that says Torrent. Okay, so once we click on that button, it will download a small little file that we click on. Now, in order to download Linux Mint, you will need to have a torrent client installed onto your computer. I'll be using Utorrent. Or BitTorrent, tell a lie, which I have already installed on here. And also you will need IMG burn as well, so we can burn the image later on onto a DVD. So the way we can get them is we simply to do a Google search for them. So we're going to go BitTorrent. The web address is qbittorrent.org. We're going to go ahead and click on the first link here. We're going to go ahead and click on download, and there's the versions. These are the ones we want. We want the version for Windows, right? The next program you'll need is IMG burn. So I'm going to go IMG burn. I'm going to hit enter. The web address is imgburn.com, the official IMG burn website. We're going to head on, click on the download link, and then you just choose one of these sources here, one of these mirrors. Once you've have them downloaded and installed, okay, we want to click on the torrent file. Let me fix this, guys. I've forgot I had it already on there. Let's try that again. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead into my downloads. This file, I'm gonna click on the file. It's gonna ask me to add the into my tongue. I'm gonna click OK. Now it's going to download the file. Okay. I've already got this downloaded to save time, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And if we head over to our downloads folder, as you can see, it's there. I'm using an old version of Linux Mint. I'm using Linux Mint 17 for this demonstration. So the next thing you need to do is burn that onto a DVD. So the way we can do that is by using imgburn. imgburn is a free and open source burning program. So we're going to go ahead and double click on the program. We're going to go ahead and click on write image file to disk. Where it says source, we want to select the folder icon. Make sure you're in your downloads folder, and we've got Linux Mint 17 make this 64-bit. I'm going to go click open. The next thing you need to do, you need to go ahead and put a blank DVD into your DVD drive. It can't be a CD. A CD is 700 megabytes. A DVD is 4.7 gigabytes, and this file we're trying to use is just over a gigabyte. So you will need to burn it onto a DVD. So once you put your blank DVD into the drive, you should then be able to click this burn icon here. So you click that, it will then burn it to DVD. Right, okay guys, that's how we can download Linux. So let's take a look how we can do Bootable Windows. So let's jump over to my Windows machine now. Okay, use my Windows 7 machine. I'm going to go ahead and just mount right, I'll go ahead and mount that now. This is my Linux Mint 17 there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on restart. Right, from here you will need to access boot off the CD. So you will need to go into your boot menu and select your CD drive, or go into your BIOS, tell it to boot off the DVD first. Okay, so in my case I had it F12 and it brings up this for me. So I'm going to tell it to boot off the CD drive. Right. From here, you will now need this. Hit enter on Start Linux Mint. Just gonna let the CD boot up now. Okay, from here now we need to go ahead and select install Linux Mint. Just let it start up. Okay, from here now we need to go ahead, select your language and click on continue. You want to go ahead and click on continue. here, this is what you need to do, right? Now, I just want to, I should have mentioned, you've got to back your data up if I was you, just in case something goes wrong. Okay? Installing Linux alongside Windows is not going to wipe your data out, right? But you do need to back it up just in case something does go wrong. So, it says here, we've got these two options, right? This computer currently has Windows 7 on it. What would you like to do? And it says here, install Linux Mint alongside Windows 7. That's what we do. Okay, it says here, documents, music, and other personal files will be kept. You can choose which operating systems you want each time your computer starts up. Now, that's what we want. Okay, so basically, when your computer starts up, you'll have two options. You'll have start Windows 7 or start Linux Mint. Okay, you then use your arrows up and down on your keyboard and press enter on the one you want to start up. So I'm going to go ahead and select, make sure install a Linux Mint along Windows 7 is selected. Don't click on erase disk install Linux Mint like we did in the last tutorial, for the simple fact it will wipe all your data out. So we want to do dual boot. So we're going to go ahead and select start Linux Mint alongside Windows 7 and click on continue. From here now, we can decide how much Linux and Windows gets on the hard drive. So at the minute, it's trying to give Windows 7 140 gig and Linux Mint 127 gigabytes. We can alter that if we want to by selecting our mouse over where the dots is, and we have this arrow pointing up and down. So then we can drag towards the left to give Windows 7 a smaller partition on the hard drive and Linux Mint the bigger, or we can do vice versa. So we can drag back that way, give Linux Mint more space, less space, and Windows more space. So I'm just gonna check them about there. That'll do for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on install now. It says before you can select a new partition, any previous changes have to be written to disk. You cannot undo this operation. Please note that the size operation may take a long time. So we're going to go ahead and click on continue. We wanted to do that, right? Give it a chance. Is partition the drive to install Linux. As you can see from my mouse, it is working, it is doing something. Okay, from here now we can select our time zone. In my case is London. I'm going to click on continue. From here now we just select our keyboard layout, which in my case is English UK and English UK. I'm going to click on continue. Now we need to fill this form in with your name. So I'm going ahead and I'm going to do that. And you can pick a computer name if you want to. I'm going to use Chris as my username, and I'm going to go ahead and type in a password. Right, next you've got these options down here. We can log in automatically, require my password to log in, and encrypt home folder. I'm going to leave them at default. I'm going to go ahead and click on continue. So guys, we can just sit back now, let the system install. Linux Mint has now been installed alongside Windows 7, so we're going to go ahead and click on restart now. You may get this message at the bottom here, please remove the installation media and close the tray if any, then press enter. So we're going to head and we're just going to do that. And if you remember guys, I said to you about you get a menu up on your screen asking you where you want to boot. So let's go take a look at that. This is the menu you will get. You'll have the option at the top there which is already highlighted, which is Linux Mint 17 64-bit, and then at the bottom there we have our Windows 7. So let's go up and start our Linux Mint operating system a second. So we highlight that and hit enter. Right, now I'm gonna go ahead and select my name and type in my password that I set up during the install. So there you go guys, there's our install of Linux Mint. So we'll jump back on there now, we'll restart the machine again and we'll take a look and make sure Windows is booting up correctly. So let's take a look then. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my menu button here. I'm going to go click on quit and restart. So we'll go ahead now and click on go down until where it says Windows 7. I'm going to hit enter on that. Windows 7 seems to be starting up okay. Right, it may ask you to just check, just let it run through the just check. Shouldn't take long. Okay, it's just finished up the disk check now. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to select back down to Windows 7. Hit enter on that. There we go, our Windows 7 machine have just started up. Just logging in, and there you go, guys. So that was so easy to do, very simple. I hope this video has helped you, and thanks for watching.